Hey family, we're up at their neighbors. We can't see any of y'all's Marcos at this time, and I don't know when, and I don't know if this is going to go through. We're doing okay. Trying to get my voice here. My tears are from the stories that I've heard from people that I have met and talked to. We're okay. It's just thinking about what so many people are going through is horrifying. A woman and her husband left their home, came back the next day, and found they had 15 cats, 5 dogs, and a father-in-law, and found them all dead except for 4 cats. And the story was hard to hear. But it's the look in her eyes that I can't forget. Last night, somebody was at the river and just looking at the destruction and cars upside down, and saw Halloween costumes floating down our river, and then she saw faces and realized they weren't costumes. She said, "I've seen bodies and I'm not okay with that." And then somebody called and said, "When is somebody gonna come collect all the bodies that have piled up along the embankment of the river?" And then a man called saying, "I need 911 at my house." And somebody said, "Why? Are you okay?" And he said, "Yes, I'm okay." But I opened my front door, and there are several bodies in my front yard. This is the stuff I'm having a hard time with, because I want to make it better for everybody and I can't do anything. So anyway, these tears aren't about us, and I didn't mean to cry, but I can't talk about this without this. And I'm sure because the emotional stress that we're under right now is beyond anything we've experienced. So anyway, I'm just checking in to let you know we're okay. We still are at the house where we get the water. We're going to do our neighborhood today. Yesterday we made pizza and took it to several neighbors. Today we're putting cheese and happy hour stuff together, and we're going to take it to neighbors. Just everybody get, little cups, and just to kind of lighten the spirits with some spirits. And then our neighbors, the Sellers, invited us over for spaghetti, so we're going to go there after the happy hour. Unfortunately, I'm still gluten-free during this, so I'll be making my own pasta and bringing it. So I'm just touching base, giving y'all a face. Y'all haven't had one. It's this face, this one that bathes. I take baths out in the rain. Or we do sponge baths in the bathroom. It's a very cold way to bathe, but I'm clean every day at the end of the day. So anyway, we're fine. We really are. I'm just so sad for people out there. So anyway, we love y'all. Yeah, we're okay.
Those of you who have seen the movie Pulp Fiction, when Marsalis, the big black guy played by Ving Rhames, and Bruce Willis, after he has what's happened to him, says, you know, "Are you okay?" And he doesn't turn around and look at Bruce Willis. He just stares at the guy who violated him and goes, "I'm a long way away from okay." This woman is trying to hold it together, talking about sipping something out of a cup. They thought they saw some Halloween costumes floating, and it ended up being dead bodies. A guy says, "I need to call 911. Oh, are you okay?" "No, there's just dead bodies piled up in front of my door. I'm taking sponge baths because, you know, at least I want to stay clean." And at the end, that woman composes herself enough to say, "I'm okay." I couldn't do it. Because, as I said in that movie, I'm a long way away from okay. There are so many different things that would be going through my mind that I'm not okay. I'm living, but I'm not okay. Yet, despite that, our president, well, somebody's president, said this.
What do the states in the storm zone need, Mr. President?
Okay.
What do the states in the storm zone, what do they need after what you saw today?
Oh, in the storm zone?
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about. They're getting everything they need. And they're very happy across the board.
First, he didn't remember what storm. What storm? The one that's basically taken out your southeast part of your country? That one? And then he says to the reporter, "Oh, they're happy. Across the board, they're happy." And our media is such shit that they don't have the cojones to go, "What the hell do you mean?" I would have had to, the Secret Service would have came after me. "They're happy, sir?" Did you just say these people in the Southeast are happy across the board? Do these people not see anything? Is he so wrapped up in his jelly beans and chocolate ice cream that he doesn't even see what people are going through? It seems like it, because we're all over. I'm going to show you some videos tonight from some people who are up there. And as I said, they're a long way away from being okay. And yet our president is out there saying, "Oh, they're happy." Not just that they're okay. He says they're happy across the board. His words. Unbelievable. So I titled this video in reference to us getting into a civil war. And to me, the parallels here are so great. We're seeing something where our ruling class and the people up north, the rich men north of Richmond, are acting like, no big deal, everything's fine. Kamala's at some rally in Michigan and hucking it up and laughing and having fun and putting on her accents. And meanwhile, this woman is seeing dead bodies pile up. And it's like, yeah, but I'm okay. And then I told you earlier, after Trump's town hall, that now you've got local police that are standing back up to FEMA and saying, nope, you can't come in here. You're not going to basically take these people's stuff. Get out. And that's how it starts. Because that little tinderbox that they're in right now, where people's nerves are frayed, F-R-A-Y, not F-R-A-I-D, frayed. They can't take much more. They're seeing dead bodies pile up in front of their front door. And if they turn on the television, you got MSNBC and CNN going, oh, it's only about 200 people dead. I told you earlier, one of the hospitals, Mission Hospital in Asheville, where my mother-in-law is having to move because they need to turn it into a morgue. Why would you need to basically make a hospital into a morgue if it's only 200 people? You're being lied to. They're treating the people here in the South like second-class citizens. Meanwhile, as you know, the newcomers get everything they want. And unfortunately, that includes Fox News at this point. I can't believe it. I was watching Fox News. Somebody had sent me a post, where they said there's only 200 people. I think it was Neil Cavuto. Said, why are people lying? It's not that bad. It's only 200 people. He didn't say not that bad, but only 200 people dead. This is how it starts, because you're basically disrespecting an entire region of people. And then telling them that they have to go through you, and they got to sign this, and they got to do that, when all I want to do right now is take a shower and eat. I already know I got no place to lay my head because you gave all the money away to the newcomers. And now Neil Cavuto's on television going, that's not true. Trump's just making that up. All right, Neil. It's pretty simple. You can't pull the wool over people's eyes when they can actually see. If it's not true, where's the money? They allocated a lot to the newcomers, but they didn't do it instead of the hurricane victims. They didn't know there was going to be a hurricane. FEMA's one job is to be there when Americans need them. Their budget isn't a slush fund that you can go, there's $500 million here. We haven't seen any storms. Let's take this money and put it over here and reallocate it. And now you've got even Fox News saying that BS. Even Fox News at this point is standing up and telling people, no, they didn't pilfer the budget. It makes me sick. And that's why, I felt this video here, I was going to, do it earlier, and then Trump bumped it with his press conference. But this is a video I need you to please hit the like button. I don't ever say that. The mods do. I just need this, especially because we're doing it late tonight. If you could do that so more people can see this, because I'm going to show you things, unless you've been all over Twitter, you probably haven't seen. So this next cut, all I can say is just listen to what these people say. I'm not going to interrupt too much of what these people are saying.
I'm currently in Asheville, North Carolina with my company doing disaster security for a dialysis company. And we're also doing search and rescue for patients to bring them to dialysis so they don't die. This place is a war zone, people, and the military is not here. And the reason I'm pissed, because I was part of the operation during Hurricane Katrina. I was stationed in San Diego, and within 96 hours, we were in Louisiana. And these bastards are not sending the military here. There's so much destruction. There's no news crews here. That's why you're not seeing it. The American people should be angry at what...
Imagine, you don't have to imagine. Think about what he just said. The news crews aren't there. I've seen a couple from Fox. I've seen some, they get approval to fly some drones around. But you don't see Jim Acosta. You don't see Joy Reid's not down there. Ain't no black people, so you don't care. Because if it was a black neighborhood, Joy Reid would have her ass out there talking real quick about, hey, we need to get these brothers and sisters some money. Al Sharpton would be down there. You know it. You know they would be banging the drum, saying we're going to protest, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. These brothers and sisters ain't got no food. But these are country folk. White country folk. And nobody cares. Nobody cares. Y'all choose to live in the mountains. Stuff can happen like that. Really? Why are you not covering it? Your one job is the news. This is the biggest story of the year, other than Donald Trump getting shot. So the two biggest stories of the year, Donald Trump getting shot, and then I guess you could also say Donald Trump almost getting shot again, and then you could also say Iranians want to kill him, but this is right up there with it. Probably more so. More people are going to die. And all those stories have one thing in common. The media doesn't want you to hear about them. They don't want you to know what is happening in this country. And so when poop hits the fan, which it is obviously beginning to, people are going to wonder, well, why do these people all do this stuff? What? I don't understand. Why did they rise up and protest? You went nuts because some drug dealer got his neck kneeled on and passed away. You went nuts because George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin tussled and one guy met his demise. You got an entire area of the country where hundreds of people, hundreds, have died. And y'all don't even want to cover it. Don't even want to have a big deal about it. That's some of the stuff that just tells me this thing is ready to blow. It is absolutely ready to blow. If somebody, maybe Donald Trump, if somebody doesn't get their hand on this, things could get ugly really quick.
Our government is doing to this town. There are people hurting here. There are so many people dying. I drove past a young kids about 5 to 7 years old. They were brother and sister, and they were looking for their parents. We got them to a church. These young kids don't know where their mom and dad are. And the military is being hamstringed by these DOD fucking executives.
I had to bleep that because this guy went off the rails against the DOD and FEMA. So nothing wrong with your computer. Don't have to adjust anything. I just had to. He went hard.
If you're not angry, you should be.
That's what I keep saying. How can people not be righteously angry at this point? You're watching your fellow Americans, true fellow Americans, the most American part of the country. They don't bother anybody. They don't go crazy. They don't protest. The only thing they want to do is let the government leave us alone. Here's my tax dollars, and then, make sure we're protected. And I'm going to join the army. A lot of them do. That's all. It's not a big ask. They're not tearing up stuff and burning things down. They put up with it. And they put up with it. And they put up with it. Like every one of us. You came in and you wanted to have all this alternative lifestyle. And we put up with it. And then from there you wanted to say that, we're going to have transformers. And we're going to have them go in your schools. And we put up with it. And then, on top of all that, now you're saying, hey, listen, we're going to bring in tens of millions of newcomers, and we're going to make them a priority. And many of us have put up with it. We're going to raise your gas prices to the point where you're not even going to be able to drive around. We're going to raise your food prices to the point where you're going to have to adjust what you eat. We're going to increase interest rates to the point where if you want to buy a house or rent, it's going to be much higher. And we all put up with it. Over and over and over. We put up with it. And then you take a shot at Donald Trump and tell us, hey, we can't figure out what's going on. And we put up with it. And then you tell us there's Iranians out there that want to kill him. And we're trying to figure out what's going on, but we can't really figure it out. And then some guy crawls around in the bushes ready to take a shot at him. And we put up with it. I think you've pushed people a little bit too far this time. I think you just thought you had a little bit more credit than you did. I think you went out there and wrote a check that your ass can't cash. I think people have had it. I think people right now are seeing other people go through this from no fault of their own. And they can see the pain and hear the pain in these people's stories. And you're ignoring them. I don't think we're just going to put up with it anymore. I think it's right on the edge. When I say right on the edge, there's a day or two between life and death at this point. A day or two between having water. I think you can go water. I forget how many days. But there's a point now where you got to eat and you got to have water. And you want to stand up between these people and say, hey, we're going to confiscate things. We're going to have blockades. We're not going to let Elon Musk put in Starlink. We're going to take it and say we did it. You got a president telling people they're fine, they're happy, all across the board. And you expect people to put up with it again? Man, you really, really don't know your American population. You've pushed people so far with everything, the censorship, and they always put up with it. We put it up with it. I put up with it. And now you're telling people, sorry, you lost everything you had in your world. Your house is gone. Your family's gone in some instances. You got no food. You got no water. You got no flip-flops to take a shower. And here's $750. After last show, I went and was listening to some music, and I listened to some Bocephus. I listened to Bocephus. And I listened to the song, A Country Boy Will Survive. If you haven't heard that song, you might want to go listen to it. Listen to the line where he says he wants to do something to a guy that hurt his buddy. He wants to spit some beech nut in his eye. Oh yeah, read the words. Listen to it and read the words. You're pushing these country folk to the point where they are going to have no choice but to let you know they've had enough. And when that happens, Katie barred the door.
Because this is what our government thinks about us. They're not here to help us. We have to take care of ourselves. There's towns here that are self-policing. We drove into towns where the town folk came up to us and said, what are you doing here? So we're looking for patients. We're trying to get them help. And they welcomed us with open arms. This is bad, people. You're not here. It is very bad. We need water. We need food. We need clothes. I'm in a budget motel, and I'm very grateful, and I feel somewhat guilty that I have a roof over my head and a shower. And it's right across from the airport. There was a man that took off yesterday in his helicopter to go up in the mountains to drop off food. He landed and got arrested and said he was interfering with the government, a government operation. But there's no operations going on. I'm sick to my stomach that our government treats our American people this way. And then when they get slapped in the face, oh, here's $750. After we sent over $200 billion overseas. Mayorkas, you're a traitor to your country.
And we all know what the penalty for treason is. And I think that if we don't get a handle on this as a country, you may see some people finally let everybody know, I've had enough. I've had enough. I don't mean anything in regards to striking out violently, but they're going to protect their own. You have to. If there's one thing you take away from this that you've learned in this entire ordeal, you have to realize at this point, you're on your own. You're seeing it. You're seeing it play out in real time. I'm sure every single one of these tax-paying Americans in the Asheville area and in Valdosta, in Georgia, in South Carolina, all thought, you know what? Everything will be okay. If anything happens, we know FEMA and our government will be here they got our back. So that tonight, as you lay your head down, understanding that anything could happen in the next 30, 60, 90 days, anytime. And what you have to understand is nobody's got your back. Think about it. These people, I've said it before. I said it about Aurora. I said it about Chicago. They went to bed one night and going, okay, there's a storm coming. Yes, oh, wow, there's thunder outside. It'll be okay. And then a day later, they're watching their houses and family and kinfolk and neighbors wash down the river. And at least you could expect, if all the tragedy that somebody has gone through, the least they would expect is, okay, it's horrible, we'll get through this. People from the government will be here to help. It's 6 days later. And we're still hearing these stories because nobody's talking about them. It requires people like me to bring this stuff to you. And I understand it can be heartbreaking, but at least you know now. At least you know. It's like, hey man, is this stuff really happening? Yeah, it's really happening. And it's much worse than they're letting you know.
Picked up a flight of pediatric medical supplies that were brought in and are going to North Asheville. We were sitting in the private portion of the airport, and we got to overhear an awful lot. The Army pilots, the Navy pilots, hospital representatives, there was a lot of chatter. While we were there, a private jet landed and 4 FEMA representatives got off. Four people off of a private jet. Come to find out, and you're not going to hear this, so let me tell you. Come to find out, Mission Hospital was told, a private hospital.
That's the hospital I was telling you about. That's a hospital where my mother-in-law is right now.
That they are going to go ahead and be the morgue center for body recovery. All of the Army Chinook helicopters you're seeing flying overhead, they are doing body recovery. FEMA said, and you can take this as a direct quote, said that they are too tied up at the border to send any more representatives.
Imagine this woman up in the hills in North Carolina. Imagine that. She's somewhere within earshot of these people who get off their fancy Lear jet and start walking in. Hey, we're from the government. And she hears the conversation, which she says you can take as a direct quote. We're too busy with the newcomers who we really need to take care of to basically waste our time with you country folk. How would that make you feel? Probably the same way this woman feels. Excuse me? What did you just say? We're too busy. I'd have had to slap somebody silly right then and there. What? What?
Yeah, at the border. So anyhow, I guess border control trumps whatever's going on here. So they told Mission Hospital they are not sending refrigerated trucks so that they can stack the bodies up. And we also overheard that whatever fatality numbers you are hearing, and this is a quote, go ahead and add a couple of zeros.
I don't know which part there to discuss. The part that they're not sending refrigerated trailers, which means they're not putting these bodies on ice, not letting them, not decay, not sending them. Well, where are you going to put all these dead people? And it's going to get really ripe here really soon. And she said, and I quote, put a couple zeros on the end of that number. I don't know if any of you heard that. And one of the reasons why I believe her is because I said I have a direct contact with Mission Hospital. So if they're evacuating living, breathing patients because they need the room to turn it into a makeshift morgue of multiple zeros. Y'all ready for that? I know Joe said, hey, listen, everything's fine. They're all happy. They're all happy. These people are all happy. Just now, between shows, I was out watching the news with Robin, and they showed somebody's trailer just going down the river. and then they showed something in a yard with a pickup truck, and the mud went up to the top fender of the tire. Imagine that, just cake. It's just a thick mud is covering a wide swath of the area up there. You don't know, no idea what's under that mud. You don't know if there's kids. You don't know if there's adults. You don't know if there's animals. It's this friggin' deep. And so they're going to have to go find these bodies. And then I've heard some stories where they're not going to stop looking. They're going to stop looking and just bulldozer it. Because they can't deal. There's nothing they can do at this point. I don't know if that's true, but that would be just a travesty. Let her continue.
So FEMA's too busy with the border. A private hospital and the Army are going to take over body recovery, and private individuals with their private helicopters and their private planes are the ones who are flying in supplies. I was at Hangar 10. I was picking up supplies. There was a stack for the Cajun Navy. There was a stack that looked like it was ASPCA. These are all being sent by private individuals. FEMA is doing nothing. Go ahead and share that.
I did, sister. I'm sharing it right now. And I'm letting all of you know to share it. And let people know you're being lied to by your government and the media. The media could care less. Right now they got to find a way to unbury Kamala Harris from the mud because she's tanking hard. Meanwhile, all this stuff is happening. These people can't take much more. I'm telling you. Some of you guys may know Chad Prather. Chad Prather is pretty big on Twitter, and he's up there right now as well. Listen to what he has to say.
I got to pull over on the side of the road because of this. Because of this. This is how out of touch the federal government is with the American people. She gives a number that you can call. FEMA put this woman in front of a camera for 1 minute and 9 seconds telling you how you can apply to get assistance. You can call them. You can email them. You can apply online. I mean, how are we going to call them? North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Florida. They're buried in mud. Do you have like cans on a string? Do we stand in the yard and go, hey, FEMA? Smoke signals? I mean, we don't have pen and paper. I'm sorry. It's buried with our people in our homes and our houses. This is how out of touch the federal government is, folks. This is how stupid, the lack of common sense and critical thinking right here. Call them up. With what? Call them up so you can sit on hold for 6 hours with a splotchy cell signal out there that doesn't exist right now.
Call and apply for this go through all these things, jump through hoops, go to this website, call, email, do whatever you need to do, fill out these forms for $750. How are you going to get it to me? Forget all the communication issues that Chad was just talking about. That aside, how are you going to get me the money? The banks aren't open. There's no ATMs. How are you going to give me $750? And then, if through a stroke of genius, my bank gets back online and I put my ATM card in, where am I going to spend it? There's no stores. McDonald's isn't open, Kamala. Even if you were working there, there's no place to buy anything. There's no transactional commerce. Can you imagine being in a situation where there's no ability to transact anything? Think about that. There's no stores. You are completely reliant on the good nature of other people. Not those people aren't your government. These are other people. Thank you. Thank you very much for that bottle of water and the saltines. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, thank you so much for the carrots and, another bottle of water. You don't even know what that means to me. Right now, chew that up. You ain't getting any hot burgers. You're not getting a steak. Probably not going to get any mashed potatoes. probably not even going to get a can of Spam. Oh, but I couldn't use the Spam because I got nothing to cook it on. And it's reaching across color lines at this point. That's why I really know Kamala's in deep, deep, deep trouble. Because it's crossing all color lines.
You know, at this point, the choice is very clear. So for you Democratic shills out there that's still trying to defend this administration, it's over. It's over. You've already had an example what it feels like when you are American first, despite if you don't like him. He always put American first. Now you have an example when you're American last. And they only give you $750 if there is a natural disaster that happened, because they have depleted the FEMA fund of $1.4 billion that was given out to illegal migrants for shelter and food and resources, just like we keep saying. But then they want to jump on the news and mainstream media and tell you that Republicans are lying. They're the ones not passing the bills. They're the one that's holding up funding. No, Department of Homeland Security, the director, all of these people that's in government and in power, they are the ones that work for Biden and Harris. That's who's running this show right now. The natural disaster that happened in these states here, and they do not have no money. How can you get on TV and tell the American citizens, taxpayer citizens, that you don't have no money to give them?
I still haven't figured that out. I don't know how Mayorkas typed up that letter saying, we ain't got no money. What do you mean you don't have any money? What do you mean you have put this country into trillions of dollars of debt? You borrow money for everything. You rob Peter to pay Paul. And you're telling me right now you don't have any money for all these people?
Because you spent it all for illegal migrants. Y'all take a look at this video from Fox News.
Alejandro Mayorkas sounding the alarm on FEMA funding right after the devastation of Hurricane Helene. Listen.
We are meeting the immediate needs with the money that we have. We are expecting another hurricane hitting. We do not have the funds. FEMA does not have the funds.
How could you go on television and say that? I don't want to hear from my government, who has been spending billions in Ukraine and billions to house these newcomers, to tell us, hey, if another storm comes, good luck. What do you mean? I mean, think about it. Exactly. What do you mean at this point? How are you telling Americans, sorry, got nothing left for you? So in other words, what you're saying here is that the government is shut down, because that's what you're saying. Because if there's no money to take care of the least of us, then there's no money to take care of your salaries and everything else. You're shut down. You're done. Right? Is that what you're saying? Or are you trying to cause a problem? Are you trying to stimulate a civil war? Are you trying to let people get so angry that this thing goes poof before November 5th? That's what I think. And I think Trump is going to have to step in, maybe tomorrow, and go, pump the brakes, people. Here's what we're going to do. But if they're not letting people fly and they're doing all these regulations, the rubber's about to meet the road. And at some point, like I played in an earlier video, that one woman who said, we're going to get it done. Don't even think about getting in our way. Don't even think about it.
Really extremely pissed. I mean, I can only imagine. Like I said, I live in a hurricane area. I've seen our bridges and our roads filled with water, bayous, everything. It's just that we're in a flat area. But to look to see the devastation, I've never seen anything like that in my life. I mean, entire roads washed away. Same thing with Hurricane Katrina. And then you had Maui, with Hawaii.
Difference, as I pointed out, people are comparing this to Hurricane Katrina. It's not. And the reason being, and why it's not the same as, well, actually Lahaina is more like what's happening here in Asheville, and those two are different than Katrina, is because the poor black folks was impacted and everybody and their mother wanted to attack George Bush. Whatever you think about George Bush, you know, if you were around during Katrina, that he was viciously attacked for what? Flying over and checking out the place, and FEMA not getting there in time. Same thing. But here, there's nobody on MSNBC. There's nobody on CNN. Nobody's complaining about FEMA.
And what happened there. And in all of these situations, the government does not step up. And now it's at a point where they are telling the American people that they have depleted our funds. It's not like they didn't have the money. They just chose to use it a different way instead of what it was intended to be used for, which is for natural disasters for our country.
So, am I wrong in thinking if you don't have the money for this, then you probably don't have the money for any of the newcomers, right? They should all be getting kicked out of hotels or wherever they are right now. All their EBT cards should come up declined. There's no more flights coming in, right? Because you don't have any more money. Because obviously, if that's still happening, how are these people in North Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee being told, there ain't no money?
You know, I said that I was going to write Senator Ted Cruz about this. You know, he's our senator up there. And I'm going to write him. Because they need to dig somewhere. And some other types of departments. Go back over there and get the check from Zelensky. You're going to have to go and get that check from Netanyahu. You're going to have to go back over there and get that damn check from Taiwan. Because America ain't got it. If you can't take care of your own American citizens now, then we ain't got it for nobody else. So yes, these people these illegal immigrants that's coming here, we ain't got it. Y'all gonna have to go back where y'all came from. Because we don't have it. If we can't take care of our own home and our own people in our country, then we ain't got it for nobody else. I'm sorry. And that's all I got to say about that. So y'all...
She ain't wrong. I just want you to add another factor into this. Because I understand from Robin, it's starting to get cool up there in the mountains tonight. So if you ain't got the money to take care of these people in the southeast, what's going to happen, I don't know, November, December up in New York, when all these people that are living in these different places you put them need heat? Because it gets cold. Are you going to somehow find the money for that? And I'm not even talking about the newcomers. I'm talking about all the people on, government assistance, all the welfare. Are they going to get their EBT card this month? I mean, it's what? October 4th. Tomorrow will be the 5th. The 15th. All these, refills of the EBT cards are supposed to happen. Where's that money coming from? Anybody asking? Hey, Mayorkas, if you don't have any money, does that mean that, over here they don't have the money for the EBT cards? How about your Social Security check? When's that coming? How about all that? Because you just told us you ain't got it. Sorry. Here's $750. Get out of here. So, is the government broke? Are we bankrupt? Or are we just bankrupt for these people? I think we all know the answer. Now, in addition to everything, this came out. I don't know if you'll be able to see this letter. I'll try and blow it up. But breaking, FEMA whistleblowers have come forward alleging that the agency misappropriated funds in the wake of Helene, withheld pre-disaster aid, and that first responders and service members have been waiting in hotels without deployment orders. Oh, the shit's just getting worse. It just keeps getting worse. And here's the letter. Not sure if you can see it. You may have to, basically look to download it. But it's a letter to Mayorkas signed by Matt Gaetz. And he now has a whistleblower who has come to him and said a bunch of stuff. I don't know what's going to happen. But if this turns out to be something, we also had a whistleblower about the ABC debate that kind of went, nobody wants to talk about that either. These whistleblowers are coming forward and go, hey, I got some info. And then it just keeps getting buried. James O'Keefe came out with a expose on somebody that works for MSNBC, and the guy came out and said, yeah, we're in the tank for the Democrats. Yeah, we work for the Democrats. We make sure everything that gets put out there is looks favorable for them. And nothing ever happens with all this stuff. The government just, Christopher Wray and what's his face? Merrick Garland? I don't want to see that. Don't want to see it. Don't even want to bring it up. Don't you want to know what's going on in your government? You're the attorney flipping general. Why aren't you doing your job? People are telling you, hey, there's some really funky stuff going on, and you need to do something. Really funky stuff.
I just got a very terrible phone call. Just got off the phone with a guy in Morristown, Dan Patton. He's told me I could say all this. So apparently, in some areas of this region, they are pulling us over before we ever get there, turning us around. As well, if you're one of the fortunate few to actually get into this area, they will unload you. And they're taking it over, putting it in their buildings, locking the doors.
All right, so you got a truck driver here who's like, we're taking these loads, and as we're getting to these areas, they're just taking it from us. They're going to just confiscate what you're bringing up to this area. Man.
As well, Dan is in...
By the way, that music is his radio.
...possession of some really nice equipment. And he fared better than most. And he is being denied the ability to go in there and help. That being said, there's very few ways into this area. We all know this. So there's nothing we can do about that. They're going to know we're coming anyway. So this is what I say. Friday, we're leaving. We've got several people that want to go with us. And I think that's the exact way we need to go about this. I think we need to go up there and get into the Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area, and then we need to plot our course and we need to go on in. Some of that goes across the national park, I think, and up through Cherokee or something. Dan said he would make sure that we had a route. That being said, inundation, folks, inundation, making it impossible to deter. That's what.
All right, so now you're seeing a protest of a different kind. You got convoys setting up that are really ready to barrel through these areas. What those things he was mentioning, in case you've never been in that area, Gatlinburg, Cherokee, and coming down through the Cumberland Gap and all these different roads, and basically descending on the Asheville area and defying, challenging FEMA. You can't stop it. You don't have the manpower. We already know you don't have the manpower. I'm sure they've already talked. How many people they got? Is the sheriff with us? No, the sheriff with them? No, he's with us. All right, so if you don't have the sheriff and you don't have the manpower, and we know you haven't called out the military, you tell me how the hell you're going to stop this. When these people barrel into town, and you got some guy in a suit saying, stop, okay, I'm from the government, you got to stop. And they don't. What are you going to do? Call up the 82nd Airborne and say, it's a riot here, we got to do something? You didn't do it with any other protest. And this isn't really a protest. They're demanding to help people. You, the government, don't have the manpower to stop what is coming. You would have to have the military basically come in and challenge these people. You want that? You see where this Civil War stuff could get really, really squirrely. When you've got a bunch of 18-wheelers coming into town and they've already made their plan, we're going to come through. Whether you like it or not, here we come.
It's needed here. Without this, we kneel, we comply. If you are prepared to go over to this area to render aid to these victims, and you come home loaded, what have you done? I'm not prepared to do that. I'm not prepared to allow these victims to become Hawaii. This is in our capabilities of fixing and helping and ensuring that this isn't their future. I'm not prepared to let this go. I'm not tapping out. I'm not prepared to tap out. I'm not gonna tap out. If you're in on that shit right there, you believe in fuck FEMA, we need to go in together. We need to make it so they cannot stop us getting to the victims. We need to get to them. We need to get shit up there to them. And we need to make sure that that's where it's going.
I'm telling you, this is a tinderbox. And it's coming from multiple directions. You got the locals themselves, the people who are fed up. You got people coming in to help. This thing could go, as I wrote right there, people have had enough in our government. We're seeing the brewing of a revolution and things may blow. Who is going to stop these truckers from coming into town? Who is going to stop the town folk from rising up and working with these truckers?
Also, I can't stress this enough. Winter's coming. There's people up there. We're being told not to bring clothes. Anybody heard that? Don't bring clothes? There's a lot of people up there. The only clothes they have is what's on them.
Why would the government, who's here to help you, tell people don't bring clothes? Why would you not want people to have a fresh set of clothes? They've been sitting, probably wet, probably smell. You're putting people in an inhumane situation, caked in mud. Yeah, I'd like to have a shower and a change of clothes. And you're going to take that dignity away from them? You don't need, hey, listen, if you take a shower here, you got to have flip-flops. All right, so that other lady I told you about, she brought in 18,000 pairs of flip-flops. All right, what's next? All right, well, you got to put those clothes back on. What? Seriously? Have you ever put clothes back on after you've taken a shower? But let me rephrase it. Have you ever put clothes back on when you've been out in the field working or something and after you've taken a shower? Why bother taking a shower at that point? And you're telling people they can't even bring clothes in.
Their shit's gone. Yesterday you had a lot of shit. Today, not so much. Their shit's gone. And we're being told not to even bring them clothes. Winter's coming to this region very, very soon. I don't know if you ever been up on the mountain before. It gets cold.
Real cold.
Just, y'all reach out to me, man. We need to figure this out. We're being turned around and everything else. Helicopter pilots are told they can't fly. Dan's being told he can't help. We're being told we can't come. Oh, stand down. We got this. Yeah, we fucking see.
Sorry.
You all have strengthened yourselves. You all have stood up. You all are getting real tired of everything that's going on. This is a common core cause that will give this nation a tremendous amount of, sorry, y'all, phone call. This will give this nation a tremendous amount of confidence in its ability to stand on its own feet and help itself. We have told everybody for 3.5 years on this app, nobody's coming to help us. You see? And now,
you imagine at this point understanding that that is the word that is going out throughout North Carolina, throughout Georgia, throughout Tennessee, is that nobody's coming to help you. So once you've broken trust in any relationship, whether it's familial, whether it's spouse, business partner. Once you've broken trust, these people counted on everything they did, paid their taxes, did what they did, went to work, definitely blue-collar people. The only thing that they counted on was that the government would be there when needed. And now you're also telling these people, we can't count on you for defense. Oh, yeah, that's got to be going through people's minds. So if we start seeing more balloons, spy balloons, or people parachuting, where are you? What are you going to do? We already know they let the spy balloon go all the way across the country. Now you're sowing doubt in people's minds. You're not here to help me. You're not here to protect me. You're not here to feed me.
We're being told that we can't even help those that need our help. Y'all, we have perilous times coming in front of us. We have the ability right now to change these people's future, to help them in their time of peril. And we are being told no. I don't know about you, but that's just fucking unacceptable. Reach out to me. Let's go in together. Let's inundate. Let's make it to where the answer can't be no. Let's kick the fucking door off the hinges and go in and help our neighbors. The Bible tells us, if you don't love thy neighbor, you don't love thy God. Ever read that? Let's love our neighbors, people. They don't want us turning our face back to God. Shit, let's do it anyway. They don't want us voting for that fella neither, but we're going to.
They don't want us voting for a felon, but we're going to. I was ready to strap on a helmet and run through a wall hearing that guy talk. Yeah, he got a little salty there. I hope you don't mind it, but these people, I'd be busy trying to bleep out everything. Maybe that's why the news doesn't cover it, because these people are pissed. They have finally reached the point where I told you, you need to get to. You need to be at a position where you can go, I'm mad as hell and I ain't going to take it anymore. And now we're going to do something about it. We've gone from people being angry, but not having the ability or reason to do anything. We've gone from a point of people being angry and turning off the news and getting frustrated. Now, we got people getting angry and they're ready to mobilize. God help us. God help us at this point. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but don't let an ounce, God, please do not let an ounce of these people's blood get shed. All they're trying to do is help. All they're trying to do is be good Christian men and women and say, I have to help my neighbor. I have to feed them, clothe them. I mean, that's basically our Great Commission. And our government, obviously anti-Christian, is saying, no, you can't. You can't do any of this. And we'll take that. And people have absolutely had enough. Had enough. So this... Glenn Beck, who's also behind the scenes, a lot of people don't realize he's been spending a lot of his money trying to help these people. So he's back in his studio and he's recounting what he experienced.
Truck arrived to set up the showers. There were some paper pushers there, and they saw that some just volunteer special forces, guys who were just used to be in special forces, they set up a little medical tent. We had been flying in medicine like not ivermectin, insulin and things. People need to have their insulin. We set that up, and these guys were running this medical tent. And the guys from FEMA come in, and this woman comes over, and she says, "What are you doing here?" And guy says, we're providing medical care and clinic. We have insulin and things that people need. May I see your license?
Oh my gosh.
We don't have a license. And she said, well, then you're not going to be doing this. And he said, you're right. We're not going to be doing this because you're leaving and I'm getting back to work.
It's happening even across the board. You know, when somebody like Glenn Beck and the people he's working with are like, you and your little FEMA outfit here, get out. The doors are being slammed in FEMA's face over and over. They are completely outmatched. They thought they were going to stroll in here and take over. We're from the government. We'll run this show. And people throughout, even people like Glenn Beck, when I say even people like him, we're talking about a professional who's got a radio show. His guys are like, get out. Get to stepping. We're done with you. We are completely done with you.
And she looked at him like, what the heck are you saying to me? And he said, we've been here for 7 days. You just arrived. So we're going to continue to provide life-saving medication, and you can go away. And she did.
And I bet you the language is a little bit stronger.
Wow. She did. I mean, good. We had to airlift this 85-year-old woman. Her story is just so tragic. She's out in the middle of the hills. I mean, it is spectacularly beautiful there and very tragic. And we're picking her up, and as we're putting her into the helicopter, she's saying, that damn Biden, she is, where the hell is the federal government?
Throughout the hills. That is going to be a constant refrain. People are like, screw Kamala, screw Biden. You abandoned us. And now you see even people like Glenn Beck confronting FEMA and saying, get away. Don't even think about it. So what's it going to take? Some crazy person from FEMA who thinks that they've got some high rank or something that's going to step in, some DEI hire that they send out there is going to tick off one of these good old boys? What's it going to take? Because they're face to face at this point. They are looking basically looking in the face of the people oppressing them at this point. The weather didn't have a face. You have a face. And you're telling me you're standing between me and food for my family? I don't think you want this fight. And the rest of us here, you don't have enough meat behind you. Just think about that. As you're viewing this, somebody's standing in front of you, and they're telling you, we'll let you know when you can feed your wife and kids. But until then, we're taking inventory and we'll let you know when we're ready. How would that work out? How would it work out if somebody walked into your house tonight and said, hey, listen, I'm the kitchen marshal, and right now, y'all need to just go back over there and watch TV. No food's coming out of this kitchen until I let you know. What? It ain't going to work that way. It ain't going to work that way. You need leadership that empathizes, leadership that understands what to do and how to manage the situation. And I think tonight I saw the leadership in such a contrast. Such a contrast. And this happened just a little while ago when Trump was asked a question.
I'm not thinking about voters right now. I'm thinking about lives. And to be honest, it's much bigger than anything else. But we're thinking about lives. A lot of lives lost. A lot of people missing.
Here's a man running for president, past president, who says, and the reporter goes, what do you think about the voters and how they're going to be able to vote in Nashville? It's not important right now. What's important is their lives. Great answer. Presidential answer. Someone who shows he cares about the people. That he can actually think on his feet. This guy took a question from somebody out of the audience, and it was a good question, because many of us have probably thought about it. Hey, what's going to happen with the voting up there in Asheville? And he's like, I'm not worried about it right now. Not going to worry about it.
And that's what I'd be focused on right now.
Meanwhile. So I want you to see what this is. This is obviously Kamala Harris at her rally in Michigan. She didn't decide to stay. She didn't stay close by where all this damage is. She's over in Michigan playing. And watch her. She's going to be yucking it up. Heck. And then the worst possible thing that could happen to Kamala Harris. The worst. The teleprompter fails. And the dead air, the look of complete horror just exposed this woman to a point where if we had a real press and this was a real life situation, this woman wouldn't have a chance of being president. Her fakeness got, well, you watch, because you'll see.
Remember his number? 32. Today we got 32 days until the election.
Here it comes.
So 32 days. 32 days. Okay, we got some business to do. All right. 32 days. And we know we will do it.
You can see the life just flow out of her. She had nothing to say. 32 days. 32 days. You know, we have 32 days where we hopefully will never, ever see you again. Maybe that's the 32 days, because you made us all pause and think, like, this is a future president?
And this is going to be a very tight race until the very end. This is going to be a very tight race until the very end. We are the underdog, and we know we have...
That's the first time I heard her say we are the underdog. Is that a little bit of a Freudian slip? Is she letting people know what she has seen in the internal polls? She's willing to show that. Just think of what she just did. She was willing to show that vulnerability, that weakness. Well, you know, we're going to need you. It's going to be really tight. We are the underdog. Oh, so you've seen the numbers. You're getting trounced. You're getting beat like a dog. I don't know who beats their dog. I don't beat my dog. He's laying right there. But she just admitted she's losing. Underdog. Not favored to win. Loser. And it ain't gonna get any better, honey. I don't care what the media says. Don't even look at the media. Don't watch any polls. Don't do any of it. Ignore it. Watch these people in North Carolina and Georgia and Tennessee and pray for them and let them know that you stand behind them. Let them know that you understand that our government is not coming to help them. And this bimbo dunderhead has nothing to offer them. Doesn't even care. Not even trying. What the heck did Magic Johnson's jersey number have to do? Is it Garanimals at this point? Did she just... Tomorrow's going to be someone else? Who's 31? Raheem Mostert from the Dolphins? And then 30... I mean, what the hell were you talking about? It didn't even... Because she's in Michigan and Magic Johnson went to Michigan State? I don't know. The other thing with that tape... Maybe I should play it again. Because she was talking and you heard a whole lot of clapping. Yeah, let me play that again. Because as all these people are clapping, I want you to look in the background and tell me if you see anybody clapping. Just watch this. I don't have a slow motion button, but just watch this.
32 days. Okay, we got some business to do. All right. 32 days. And we know we will do it.
The woman in the far right blonde is the only person clapping.
And
nobody else is clapping.
And this is going to be a very tight race until the very end. This is going to be a very tight race until the very end. We are the underdog, and we know we have some hard work ahead.
So when you heard all of that noise of people clapping, who was clapping? Because all the people behind her, who usually are your best, supporters, Trump always puts, Teamsters and different people back there who are his strong supporters. I hear everybody clapping and nobody's clapping. Did they pipe that in? Possibly. I don't know. But at this point, the contrast is clear. Someone who cares about people or somebody who's just a blathering, blithering, bimbo dunderhead. All right. Somebody says, is this Meghan Markle? Yeah, that was special effects. Who knows? Maybe those people weren't even sitting there. Maybe we were looking at a green screen because something didn't add up. I do a lot of video and I'm like, why is nobody clapping during the clapping part? I'm hearing all these other people clap, but nobody's clapping. And if you've been to an event, if other people are clapping, you're going to clap as well. Nobody back there was clapping. I think her IQ is 32. Yeah, probably. Fake NBA crowd noise. It could be. Everything about her is fake. Absolutely. I'm an audio engineer. That was fake. Absolutely. Good job, man. Good job. I mean, I've got a clap button, and you can tell it's fake. Listen. That's an applause button. You just push the button and people clap. But you can tell it's recorded because it doesn't fit, and obviously there's nobody behind me. There's nobody in here going, She got caught. And her teleprompter died. Oh my God. Let's see the whole crowd. Yeah, I'd love to see the whole crowd. I would love to see it. Looked like NBA games during the Jabademic. I'm so sick of this charade. I am too, man. It is so bad. 32 days is the only thing she said right. 32 days. If we make it that far. I don't know what's going on up in the hills. I don't know what they're trying to do. But there's obviously something they're trying. Are they trying to cause 1776? Actually, I said 1776. I should have said 1773. 1773 was when the Boston Tea Party actually happened, which lit the fuse. But 1773, 1776, I think we're right there. I think at this point, people, including you, have done. And God forbid they try and steal this election, because if they try that, we're done. We're absolutely done. And you know it. So I just want you to pray for all these people up in the hills there, all throughout Tennessee, Gatlinburg, North Carolina, Georgia. Pray for them, because I just couldn't even imagine being in a situation where I'm not even allowed to get food. And I'm a big guy. I want my food. I don't want you telling me I can't eat. And I definitely don't want you telling me I can't take a shower. Everything I have to do now has to come from permission from the government. When I can see the trucks sitting there. I can see the trucks sitting right there. I just need this stuff offloaded. And you guys are taking it. And then you also know that Elon Musk is dropping these Starlinks there, so you have the ability to do different things, but you're just not letting us? Crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, thank you for tuning in. I'm going to acknowledge the super chats, which, wow, look awesome here. All right, so let me get this in order so I can do that. Amazing. You people are absolutely amazing. All right, so let's do this. Stephen Niger, thank you very much. James Kip, thank you. Orange Blossom 1461. General Flynn on Benny said there are over 1,000 bodies, probably will be 2,000. President should send in active duty. Biden and Harris are pure evil. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that General Flynn has gotten information from people. And you just saw it. You saw a lady tonight say, put some zeros on the end of that. Horrible. Jeremiah Kerr. Barry, it's time for us here at FantFizz to organize a movement to help us, boots on the ground as soon as possible. We could do that. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Let's see what we can put together. I know you guys have been amazing with the donations that we can funnel up to Samaritan's Purse. If you didn't see the interview yesterday, go back and watch that at the beginning of one of the shows. But let's look at that. They need volunteers. They put out a call for volunteers, so they need bodies. What I need to find out, is there any place to stay? Is there places where are all the hotels open? Because it doesn't make any sense if you can't get in there. Like, these truckers are bringing stuff in and they're dropping it. James Kipp again, thank you. Retired trauma RN in Hickory. Any contacts to help? SamaritansPurse.org. We had the interview yesterday. They said if people want to volunteer, go to SamaritansPurse.org and you can get in touch. And if you can't, send me an email and I'll put you in touch with them. Very pleased that you use the discretion either for your channel to get your message out or the hurricane survivors. I appreciate everything you do. Don't ever apologize. Thank you very much, LL. Angelise for Samaritan's Purse. Thank you. Lita Martinez, thank you for everything you do. Let's continue to help Americans. I think you meant Americans, yeah. Nessa Whitaker, thank you. Diane Bishop, thank you very much. B.F. Thompson, thank you. Pao Jiao Lee, boycott all mainline news, even though whether it's all lies, make them pay for their evil works. Boycott all the news and their sponsors. I'm telling you, if you guys aren't on X/Twitter, get in there. I did this show at 9 o'clock. Most of these things happen throughout the day. Things happen like this all day long. And you can get real news from people on the ground who are affected. And there might be some people who are weird, but I trust that you guys are strong enough to see through BS and see what's really going on. Michelle in Michigan, my family was from deep South Tennessee. I was born and raised in Michigan and visited twice a year. You don't F with these people. No, you'll never be found. I heard the stories. I've heard them too. Don't mess with these people. They don't even know what they're getting into. Barry Treason, who will arrest these people? Trump's going to have to bring in somebody. Whoever his AG is going to be busy. That's why they're terrified. Mark Lancaster, God bless from Amy and Mark from Baton Rouge. Yeah, you know about people disappearing down in that area. Jody Smith, we all can be damn sure because of this President Trump is pissed to the hill and they all better be ready to pack their bags for prison. That's why they're taking shots at the guy. Monet Stewart, thanks Barry and family. Glad I'm back on X. Yeah, good job. And I'm not promoting X because I want you to leave here. I'm just saying, you can see this stuff. You're at work or wherever, and you can see news happening at the time it's happening. So you don't have to wait for the media to tell you. In fact, the media at this point can't keep up. So when they get a story, here's what happens with the media. They get a story or something happens. They can't really report it because they got to get it cleared, and then they have to have legal look at it, and then they have to get someone to talk about it, especially on the weekend. So understand, like guys like Hannity and Jesse Waters and all the A names are done. They're off the air for the weekend. And so when things happen, it's too late. You guys got to be on it. FEMA stands for F every American. Yes. Whoa, Clarice Thompson, Clarice Wilkerson. Is that pounds? Wow, thank you very much. What's good, Barry? Love your content, bro. We need to get together and get our country back from these clueless and incompetent people. I feel change is coming. I do too. We just got to get there. Thank you very much. Captain Zlog, have CMV blood stuck in New York. Wish I could. Oh, hey man, whatever you can do. John Parr, thank you. David Moffitt. FEMA's annual budget is approximately $29 billion. So I understood it as well. So how is it possible that they don't have the money? That's why I almost think this is intentional to try and cause something to blow up. How do you not have the money? It doesn't make any sense. You don't have the money for anything. We're in debt. So where are you getting the money for anything else the government is doing? BLS Doom Crew, keep sending messages to President Trump on True Subject. He will see the inflow from all of us. Tell him Asheville is being denied private help by FEMA. Yep, good job. Am I blocked, Monet? No, you're not blocked. John Parr. At this point, I really am thinking that this is being done to get the people out there and bring in Kamala's invaders. Could very well be. Hey, Monet, what do you mean not funny? You're here. We're reading it. I can't read them until the end, honey. So, if you don't see them happen during the show because it's moving so fast and I'm trying to keep the flow. But I hear you, and I thank you very much. Tommy Radcliffe, the guitarist. Cannonball Run, Barry. Cannonball Run. Yeah. Or Smokey and the Bandit. Chris 199. Elon's password for Starlink should be Trump 2024. William Flanagan, Barry, is Jack Smith's court filing going to hurt Trump election campaign? No, you know how you know that? It's not. It's already disappeared. They realized, okay, that didn't work. What else we got to do? It's already gone. And I heard also that the big $450 million judgment with Letitia James up in New York, that might be on life support as well. Okay, here. Wait a minute. Ernest Walker, thank you. Sounds like population control. Mega Mama, please pray for my friend. He just found out he has stage 4 cancer and not sure how much time he has. God works miracles. We'll pray. C12 Fisherman, prayers to the hurricane victims. OMG, like some vanilla prayers with the Hurricane Helene victims and families. Patriot Rob, yes, they will have a pew-pew off with our government, FEMA or whatever. Yeah. Everybody, and I do mean everybody up there, is packing. Not this person or this household. No. Unless those got washed away, everybody's packing. Where was I with that? Let me come back here. Okay, Lisa Burke. People are emotionally drained. I can't stop remember Hillary saying MAGA supporters should be wiped off the map. Raskin said MAGA is going to go on a riot. They're doing all they can to make it happen. Yes, they are. They might get what they wanted. Ernest Walker, 32 days so Trump wins. K-Dog, Biden won't resign. He's waiting till December for Hunter's guilty plea so he can pardon him. But at the same time, she could pardon him. If he resigned and they put her in, that could be part of the deal. You got to do this. So either way, Mike the Plumber, they dealt with revenuers. They'll deal with FEMA. He's talking about the Boston Tea Party. Holy moly! Heads up for Florida. Are they next? Possible life-threatening amounts of rain for days. Can't send a link. Hurricane going to sit and spin. I'm here in South Florida. Had a beautiful day today. Robin was telling me there might be a storm coming, but we'll see. Jeremiah Kerr, she's not even worth the tea thrown overboard, even though it's the same game. Donna, from Fort Bragg, the largest military base in the world, right here in North Carolina. Over 60,000 plus personnel. They have plans for it, and like President Trump, we're in the way. They have already stolen this election. I hope not. I own 14 homes in Kentucky that are vacant. I can help. Well, I would most assuredly, Tommy, contact Samaritan's Purse and see if it, how far it is, if people are willing to relocate. That'd be so nice of you. Brad Crane, thank you. Jerome Lambert, thank you. Junior Medina, Barry, keep up the good job. Ex-Democrat Latino here voting for Trump. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What do we got here? Let me make sure I got the page loaded here. Doc Mojo, thank you. Use the cash to help as many as you can. Great work. And Jeremiah Carabeards, our time fanfare aren't timid. I won't leave this alone. Time to organize. All right, brother. Well, I'll start looking into it. There were a couple here I wanted to click on. Yeah, okay. Oh, come on. Don't slide away from me. Mary Jane from New Zealand. Barry, please pass this on to Samaritan's Purse for me. My heart is breaking for the people affected by Hurricane Helene and for America. Please take your country back. Please take your country back from this crap show. Trump fans, thank you for your channel. Thank you from all the way in New Zealand. Beautiful country there. I want to make it there one day. My wife has visited before. let's see here. Oh, God, this thing moves so fast. And I got to click on it. Come on. Don't dance with me. Give me this one. Ronald J. Sperry, thank you for all you do. You're the only one I can trust to get the money where it needs to go. Buy yourself a coffee and get the rest of the hurricane survivors. I'm going to do a show next week. And we're going to basically, not a leaderboard, but a count as to where we are, so everybody knows exactly how much is going to Samaritan's Purse. Where did I leave off? I think this one here. Ethel Suburma, thank you for our fellow Americans in need. I am enraged at this corrupt administration. Good. Stay angry. Stay angry. And I think there was one more, or two more. Let's see here. Oops. I don't know, why do you do this? Tara, oh, thank you very much, Tara. I think I have one more to get to. I thought, where are we? This one. Oops, crap. I don't know why they move so fast. Oh, that was Estrella. Okay, and then there's one last one over here. Not last but not least. 808 Pineapple Queen. Wow, you're amazing. You are absolutely amazing. So yeah, I think Monday we'll go ahead and do that, and we'll get a running tally as to where we are, and maybe I'll see if I can't get Samaritan's Purse on the show this time with video as well. Tomorrow, big day, very big day tomorrow. We're going to be doing the Butler rally. We're going to start an hour early. Usually I do a half hour. We're going to start an hour early, and we're going to give away some hoodies and have some fun. So 4 o'clock tomorrow. We're going live tomorrow at 4 o'clock with the Trump. Oh, wait a minute. I got to do this. I forgot. And if you want to enter to win a hoodie, go ahead and go right there. fanfareshop.org. And what I have to do, I almost forgot. Let me go ahead and give. See, this is what happens when you have 3 shows in one day. You get exhausted and you get tired. And let me do this. Put this over here. Make sure you guys can see it. And let's go ahead and give away a hoodie. Yeah, you guys can see it. Alright, so we're going to give away a hoodie right now to Deborah Lanier. Deborah Lanier is a winner. You're going to get a new hoodie. Expect an email from Ashley asking you for your size and, of course, your address to ship it to. I hope you guys are going to enjoy these things, but it's fun. It's fun. A lot of people registering to win. And if you haven't registered, please do go to fanfareshop.org. That's the beautiful wife right there. Thank you guys for tuning in. Pray for these people up in Asheville. Pray that we don't just go into a civil war here. Thank you very much. See you guys tomorrow.